Welcome to another episode of Drug Dealers to Businessmen podcast. I am your host, Duane Cofield. It is 7 o'clock. It is Wednesday, October 5th. Normally we would have been on a Monday, but we're on a Wednesday now. Nonetheless, it's 7 o'clock, and it's the weekly tap in, and I'm tapping in. What's good, family? What is up? All is well. Growing every day, trying to get better. You know the deal. Make sure you guys, if you're watching on the live, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so at your earliest convenience. If you have a city that you'd like to be represented in the chat, please put it in the chat at the earliest convenience. Other than that, what's good with you guys, man? How you been and what you been up to? Shout out to our listeners all over the world. We couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you for tapping in with us weekly. Man, we got 160 of these. This is our 161st, right? Live broadcast. So we're getting better, right? And that we got a whole episode on repetition, and how important it is to get your reps in. Uh-oh. Fix my camera real quick. But it's critical to get your reps in. Why? So you can practice. The more you practice, the better you get. I don't care what it is, right? Malcolm Gladwell got a 10,000 hour rule. If you want to be an expert at something, you got to put in 10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. Imagine that. 10,000 hours. And some of us been working at something for a year. And we're already, impatient with its results. It's not producing fast enough for us, right? All right, now what's going on? Cleveland, Ohio, Queens, New York. All right, I see you. I appreciate you tapping in. Appreciate that, man. You could be doing so much more with your time. So shout out to you. But yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm starting to really understand life, man. It takes some time, right? That's the thing, right? That's the one thing I will say about God, right? And just results in general is that things take time. They just take time. And we're so impatient, right? We're so impatient with process. We're so impatient with our growth. We're so impatient with our goals. We're mad impatient, man. And this is episode number 29 of season 3, man. So we got one more episode of season 3, then we're moving on to season 4, man. That means we got 90 episodes, right, of the podcast, but we have 160 live. So we go live a lot more. But nonetheless, I'm establishing a track. I'm establishing a record. I'm sticking with it, right? A lot of people quit. There's some stats on podcasts that talk about like 75% of the podcasts are abandoned in their first year. Nobody continues after that. So, hey, man, I've been doing this for a minute. Now I'm like, why would I? You put in too much time. Why would you walk away from something that gives not only you so much, but it gives other people something? It can be fulfilling in so many ways. So I just, I'm giving myself, my flowers in terms of being consistent. That's it, because consistency is one of the more difficult things that for all of us to achieve, right? We're trying to remain consistent. We try to stay consistent on our workouts, who we are, our homeboys, whatever, homegirls, whatever. We try to stay consistent and be that same person, but it's difficult. It's really difficult to do. So going on. All right, appreciate you with tapping in, Cherie. How you doing? AZ in the building. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm really excited about what things are going on in my little spectrum. But yeah, we're talking about this is episode number 29. And it's talk about walk your unique path. I was listening to an episode. I did a little small video on walking your unique path, right? Because a lot of times what we think is we can duplicate someone's success by duplicating everything that they do. So we become version 2.0 of whatever they are, and we feel like we can still have that same success. And I'm like, it's not going to work like that. Period. It doesn't work like that. Why? Because they're doing what God intended for them to do, right? And if God intended for you to do it, you would have got that memo. But you didn't. You're a witness. You're a witness to whatever they're doing, right? Now you can be inspired by that, but you can't walk in their path. You don't, your shoes, their size, nothing fits. We talked about that before, but walking your unique path, understanding that your things are specifically for you on your journey, and it's not for anyone else. They're specifically for you, right? And it's hard for us to take that because it's like a spade hand. You know, you it might come across red and you still got to work it, right? It's still they can still turn out better than somebody with an all black hand. So it just really depends on how you work it. And God wouldn't give you a hand that he didn't think you could work yourself, hands down. So that's why it's so important to understand who we are. We talked about our fingertips and our fingerprints, how there's nobody else that has the same ones. That's why like you can't get away with stuff. And that's just showing your uniqueness right there. Like, dude, there's nobody like you ever, nowhere, nothing. There's nobody like you. And what's for you, and shout out to Sharif for saying that comment, what's for you is for you. Period. It's not gonna be difficult. You know, that's the hardest pill to swallow is that we think that things are gonna be have to be hard. I gotta work. Man, the things that the things that are for you, did you have to work hard for? Nah, right? When you really look at, I didn't really have to work that hard for that. No, you didn't, because it was for you. God had a now you may have had to go through some lessons and tribulations up until that point. Now that's a given. That's part of the game. You're gonna have to go through some trials and tribulations, and that's just to prep you mentally, physically, emotionally for what you're about to endure, and making sure that you have a level head. God will not give you a gift until you're ready. You'll lose it. You'll blow a gas. Man, nah. So when your gifts come, just know that they already have been ordered many moons ago. God been tapping in with you a long time ago. And it's hard for me to understand that, right? Because as we were growing up, you idolized everybody who you saw. You wanted to be like them. You wanted to walk like them. Man, if I could just walk like that, I'll be cool like this person. I'll be nah. They walk like that for a particular reason. It might be because they hurt their knee, or it might be because one leg's shorter than the other, right? We don't know why they walk like that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I've seen homies do that where I'm like, damn, it's two of y'all. Y'all look alike, dress alike. He got on this, he got what kind of shit is this? But that's because a lot of times we lose our identity and we think that our ideas and dreams aren't as important as his or hers. And oftentimes, you know, when we were younger, our who we wanted to be was suppressed. Nobody believed in it. So a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times that transitions into I'm gonna be like somebody else because I don't think I'm worthy enough to be myself. I don't think my dreams are big enough to do them on my own. I got to work on doing whatever they doing. Right? There's a saying, and I might have talked about this in the past. I saw it in my economics class. Shout out to I forget my professor's name, but he had a thing in there that said, "Dare to be a leader in a world of followers." And I thought that that was really impressive because it's difficult to lead. It's difficult to say, "This is who I am. Take me or not." Shit, you know what I'm saying? It's difficult because oftentimes we want to adjust to people's expectations. We want to be, oh, okay, everybody's doing this, I'm doing this. Everybody's going this direction, I'm doing. Everybody buys lowriders. How much are Dayton's? You know, that's us. You know, as opposed to saying, you know what, I'm about to go get a Prius. I don't care what the homies is doing. Why am I getting a Prius? Because this gas is $7 a gallon. I'm not about to go get a Tahoe. Even though all my homies is getting Tahoes, putting 50-inch rims on it, man, I'm going for the Prius, dog, or the bike, scooter. And it's hard to go against the grain and walk your own path, your unique path. It's difficult because everybody, how would anybody understand? What's going on, Flint, Michigan? Appreciate you tapping in, my brother. How would it's difficult. Nobody's gonna cheer you on. They're gonna be like, go, man, be that individual. You're rarely gonna hear that. They're gonna be like, why aren't you like such and such? And I'm even guilty of that sometimes. I gotta check myself with my kids. Like they ain't like such and such because they're an individual, homie. As well as you are. You're not like anybody else because that's not how God designed you. Even twins are different drastically. I remember the homies Gary and Carrie in San Diego. One was real organized, the other one wasn't as organized. Right? And you see that all the time. That's just the way it is because God has known, even though you may come out thinking you identical, you so far apart, and there's nobody that can walk like you. So once you get into your stride and strut, man, that's when the magic happens. But again, we need confirmation as we grow. We don't realize, right? One of the things that I'm trying to convince my son right now is to understand who he actually is. Dude, you're the God. And it's hard to understand that at a young age because everything's telling you you're not. Right? You got Caucasians on TV, you got people that are just different than you that are winning and getting attention, and you starting to look at yourself like, I'm not the God. No, you are. That's why they don't want to come around. They can't take you. So making sure he understands, not from an ego standpoint, but just understanding how much power you have from within, what you can pull off, what you can do yourself, how you don't need a cosigner. I'm walking my unique path, man, and we doing XYZ. Not doing everybody going this direction. I don't care. We going this way. I'm on my Denzel. What's that movie? I forgot the movie. He just goes west, right? I'm just going west. Blind. Stunner shades on. Can't see. Blind. I can't even see, but I know I'm walking in my path. I can't even hear because I can't hear your music because once we start listening to other people's music and start following their directions, we find ourselves lost like a motherfucker. We are completely lost. Who am I again? What did I want? And you forget what you want. You're like, damn, okay, what do we want? You start planning stuff together with cats. What the hell am I doing? God didn't have me splitting dreams. This ain't nothing for me to we ain't going half on this dream. That's yours is yours. What's for you is for you, not for anybody else, not to be split four ways, not for somebody who that's why cats can't dig your dreams. That's why they don't move when God sends you signals because they can't recognize it. It's not theirs. Now, what they need to be doing is recognizing what their signals look like, their confirmations with the universe, how God makes sure that you understand you're on the right path. Confirmation, boom, comes out of nowhere. You're on the right path. They just bump you running somebody at the liquor store and they say something out of the be like, okay, God with me. Not these other cats. Because they got to find their uniqueness. They got to find their path. Everything may lead to the same direction, but you got to walk your unique path because there's things on that path that you're going to need, right? Just like what is it, Fortnite that they play? They go on all these things and they get pistols and first aid kits. That's part of the process. You got to go through that. You got to walk around. You got to you got to see things, pick things up, put them down, test things out, find out what you do and what you don't like. That's all part of the process. A lot of people thinking that, oh man, I thought I was gonna sell dope forever. I'm gonna be I saw Scarface and I started watching Scarface over and over and over again. And I'm like, okay. And I started looking around and start paying attention to who's doing what. I start seeing this. I'm like, damn, this thing in the same way. There's no you either getting somebody running up on you and gunning you down because the higher the work get, they ain't just coming to rob, they'll kill you too. Or the alphabet boys is coming. Pick one. DEA, ATF, FBI, they all at some point they coming. And man, 15 with 80, nah. So let me find a different path because everybody I know is walking down this path of destruction and death. It's not gonna go well. So I had to break away. And as difficult as it is, because it's difficult to walk your own path, it really is. I'm telling you, there's no support. You may find your spouse, and that's about it. And they'll rock with you. And if you find that person that rocks with you as you making that transition, because you're going to have to walk away. For some people still in the game right now. Some people still getting it off, man. But I'm telling you now, get out. Let me be that message that God's sending you. Get out, homie. It's a wrap. Walk another path. You better than that. Look at Bun B. I ain't seen him smile more. Flipping burgers, trail burgers. Bun B showing off them veneers, right? You know what I'm saying? But he's in an element. These cats, they probably use rap and all this gangster shit just to go. But after so many years, you're like, man, I want to do something different. I want to leave a different kind of legacy. So in order for you to leave that kind of legacy, you're going to have to walk in your own path. You're going to have to. Like Steve Harvey says, if you haven't seen that video where he talks about taking a leap of faith, what? Indeed. And a lot of people thinking like, man, man. Nah, this is the kind of stuff you need. The technical stuff, Google. You can figure out anything. I was doing some stuff for research last night. Figure this stuff out. Just Googled it and cross-referenced, and I was on. But the inspiration is the difficult part. You can't get that from anywhere because the person that inspires you has to understand you to a certain extent, has to kind of get it where you're coming from, or else you're not going to resonate. So for us, as individuals coming from the streets, right? We've always had to walk that path. When we got in the game, everybody didn't get in the game. Most cats went square. Some people parents are straight, so they didn't have to worry about that. Some people's uncles and relatives was the plug, so they didn't have to worry about that. Mine was a little bit different. So I had to constantly try to figure it out because wasn't nobody hooking me up in my family. They wasn't even low key, they wasn't messing with me at all on any front. You know what I'm saying? So I had to kind of make my own way, figure it out, go get in these streets. I don't know anybody, but I'm gonna still get out there. And I still adopt that same mentality. It doesn't matter. And that was one of the best things that's happened to me is that I didn't get help. Because if I got help at that time, I'd be constantly looking for help. You know, if you sit there and keep walking on crutches, eventually you're gonna start to need them. So I don't want to keep walking on crutches. I can walk on my own too, dog. Trust me on that one. And I got that confidence walking my own path as a youngster, bailing by myself from Lincoln Park back over by the house. You know what I'm saying? Bailing with a deuce five, like walking my own path. And lo and behold, me and the homie Harvey, you know what I'm saying? And my brother, shout out to my nigga. We walked our own path and we ran across plugs that cats would dream of. You know what I'm saying? This is back in like 90, 89. I'm like, anyways, I'll move on because that's only a few would understand that situation where me and my dude was at. You know what I'm saying? We was getting double ups and we was like in junior high school. Probably shouldn't even been messing with us. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to my guys. Some of them already in grade, but a few of them are still around. They know who they are. But yeah, we had to walk our own path, and it wasn't cool then. It's not going to be popular. That's the thing. It's not going to be popular. It's not going to be sexy. It's going to be lonely. It's going to be depressing sometimes because you're going to wonder, damn, am I going the right direction? One of the best books that I've ever read on walking your own path was The Dream Giver by Bruce Wilkinson. And man, that book has so much power in it and understanding what happens when you make this transition about saying, I'm going this direction. I don't care what the statistics say. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they believe. I don't care what they're talking about. I'm going this direction because God's telling me to. Me and God, we chopped it up and he was like, you going west? Yeah, I'm going west, dog. Cool. Meet you over there. That's how God works. And if he didn't want you to go west, you'd be like, man, am I going west for real? Okay, well, let me show you what the west looks like, just so you get an idea. Oh, you want to go east now? Okay, cool. That's how God works. He'll let you ride if you really press the issue. But if there's something, a connection that where, you know what, I got this gut feeling I should start this business. I got this gut feeling I should make this move out there. I got this gut feeling I should do this. Right, because when we was young playing dice, we had the gut feeling. Let me get the gut feeling to get in this dice game and get bucked. Well, life is the same thing. It's a big ass gamble, and we only live it once, right? So you either gambling or you settling, one or the two. And if you settling, that means you settling on somebody else's idea on what they think success looks like for you. If you doing your own thing, you walking your own path, and hopefully you got other people watching you. Like, damn, this cat's walking in his own light. And it's dark as a month, but somehow the light keeps guiding him. And he got his headphones on, listening to his own shit. He ain't hearing nothing what nobody else is talking about because they don't matter. They really don't. The encouragement is cool, but the discouragement is whatever too, because they're both subjective. They have nothing to do with how my dreams are being executed, but more of how you feel in the moment. So if I'm sitting there waiting on you to approve me, waiting on you to say that's a good ass idea, waiting on you to say I'm gonna spend some money with you, D, I'm not tripping. It's nice, but God got me anyway. Don't even trip. That's how I gotta walk through life. God got me anyways. God been getting me, dog. My ribs was touching. I was like, man, I don't know how many. God slid me something. So I'm gonna just roll with this cat from now on, right? Because if I ride with anybody else, it depends on whether they hit the lottery or not, right? On whether I'm gonna get whether my outfit's nice. My shit is nice. Whether you hit the lottery or had a flat tire. Because if you had a flat tire, then my suit might not be that nice. My dream might not be that good of an idea. But it depends on your position. What a life to live. Why would I subject myself to that? God's given the power. He's given me the idea and watch us execute. There's nothing else to talk about. Right? Put the plan in action. Now goes back to your intention, right? Had a conversation with a brother in the bank this morning about intention. He was like, man, I could feel your energy from over here. Tell me about it. I can feel it. I know what happened. I know what me and God did before I walked out this house. We put our day in effect. We told the universe what was getting ready to happen. You talking about walking your unique path, man? Tell the universe what you want to pop. What you want? I want to go this way. I need this done. I need that. And voila, I'm down there picking up chicken. I'm down there quarterbacking this and man. But that's execution. That's walking your path. That's believing in you. How many of us really believe in ourselves? Believe that we can do anything. Right? So, oh, that's dangerous, homie. You can't do, man. I always tell my son, don't tell your little sister what she can't do. Oh, you can't, you're not old enough. Don't tell her that. Because there's something beautiful about ignorance, about not knowing what you can't do based on what somebody else already said, or based on whatever historical context is out there. Right? You can't do that. There's never been, man. You must not know who the F I because if I showed you my story and told you who I was, that might make you a believer. But I already know if I'm here and we're talking about it, man, it's just a matter of time. Period. And I've walked like that, man. My experience, my man, homie. I've seen what God's done for me. He's yanked me out of situations where other cats didn't make it. So I know I got more to do. Right? And he knows now that I don't need anything. So any type of blessing I get, I'm looking to bless other people. I don't need shit. I don't need a big giant ass chain. My chain is cool. I don't need a big giant ring. My wedding ring is fly. I don't need man. We got enough space, man. This shit is hard enough to clean up. I'm good. I'm good. Like I don't need the accolade. Man, my gift is to see other people succeed. Seriously, like that. People, oh, that's cap, homie. You homie. Trust me. All I want to do is go to Seattle a couple times, maybe Chicago. I like my little vacations. Other than that, man, I'm good. I got a bus. I don't not trying to even gloat. I'm just saying I don't need anything. So anything that I get now, man, let's figure out how we can make it work for somebody else. So my satisfaction is seeing other people succeed. My students trip out when I lay down my books, like, hey man, and I put it out there to them. I just did it this last week. I put all my books, my Audible, my Amazon, the whole nine. And I say, if somebody interested, should I hear from somebody? And they're trying to figure it out. Like, well, so you're gonna give us I'm like, I'm not telling you. I want to see if I put this piece of information or this piece of meat in front of you, are you coming to get it? Because that's what God does for you. He just puts it in front of you, homie. You got to make the move though, dog. You can't just think it's just, oh man, I'm gonna cook it for you and I'm gonna bring it to your table. Man, that's old school, dog. That's not happening with God. He'll put it out there. He's so complex that he'll make a story out of it, like a whole lesson plan. Like, man, this is just meat. Not with God. He gonna make you understand. Or like Furious Styles said on Bet Boys Know, you gonna learn. Oh yeah, you gonna learn today, right? For real. So I'm cool with that. But he's gonna push you towards your path, right? He's gonna get you away from being the follower because following is easy as I don't know what. That means I don't have to figure shit out. You figuring it out for us, whoever I'm following. What a way to live life. Being somebody else or being a version of somebody else. You the B version of this nigga. What? Not impossible. Not the B version. I'm the A version. Ain't no little me. Cause it ain't happening. When I see cats, oh man, I got a little. I'm like, he can't live up to your name. It's like you the only you. Oh, that's little such and such. They ain't never that either the little one is more of a monster than a big one, or the big one. It's never everybody was a cold hustler. All the nah. Not bloodline like nah. Because you can't, it's who they are. And the thing about it is, even if we do that to our kids, I want them to be a little version of me. I see that all the time too. Cut their hair the same. Oh, he got little earrings. Oh, he got braids just like his dad. Blah, blah, blah. But that ain't who he is. Oh, you just like your daddy. No, he's not. Quit telling him that. Tell him that he's an individual. You just like who you are. Because you unique. You the miracle. You ain't just a little piece of this dude. Just like they ain't pieces of me. One of my son go the complete opposite direction. You know what I'm saying? And I'm at first it used to irritate me. But guess what that was? Starts with an E. It's my ego. Your sons are supposed to be a spitting image of you. Where do you get that shit from? Some old school genealogy type bloodlines, and we got uniqueness all in our DNA. Painters and be something else. Because mine got suppressed. I wanted to be an oceanographer and an attorney. I ended up being a D-boy. Ain't that some shit? Oceanographer and attorney. And I was in the best city to do it, man. I was in San Diego. We was at SeaWorld in school every other week. We go down to Point Loma, Scripps Ranch. There was so many things down there. So the God had me in the right position. But I listened to the wrong people. I didn't listen to what was inside of me that said, man, D, pursue it. Ask questions. I don't care what your situation is. I didn't understand it then. God wasn't talking to me then. I was listening to everybody else. He might have been talking to me, but I was too young to even comprehend it. And as I started to get older, I understood it now. So I tell my man, whatever you want to pursue, I'm with it. As long as it's legal, as long as you're committed to it. Let's go. Because I don't want to rob you of whatever it is based on what I think. Because your unique path, that agreement that you and God have made, and man, y'all might have made that in the second grade. Y'all might have made that in the first grade. Who am I to tell you that you can't do it? Because I didn't. That's shady. that's foul, dog. Can't tell somebody to do something, not to do something because you didn't do it, or because you don't think it's interesting. Who the hell are you? And I have to say that to myself. Who the hell are you, dog? To tell them what to do and what not to do. You can keep them out of trouble, but man, let them be who they are. Let them discover their greatness, not muffled, right? I'll never forget that Melvin Van Peebles thing. You guys ever see it? I try to pull up the video one day where he talks about that, man. He said, I didn't stop making films because nobody ever told me that I didn't know what I was doing. So he just did whatever he thought was right, which is when you're guided by God. Even the mistakes are part of the process. That's the part that we don't, that's hard for us to grab. We think mistakes are fatal. That's part of the process. That's an ingredient, right, in the cake. And if you leave out difficulties, failures, and all that out of the cake, that shit is gonna go, it'll be nasty, horrible, horrendous. So we got to understand that every ingredient is a necessary ingredient. Nothing needs to be omitted. Your unique path is for you. Everything on that path is pre-packaged exactly for you, and not you and somebody else, not you and three homies, not you and the whole family. Walk your unique. They all have unique paths too. My wife has one. My mom, my kids, everybody has their own path they need to walk. Now we can go on hikes together, family, yeah, all gravy. But the path of life, you got to walk that. You got to figure it out. You got to find out where the food is. You got to find out where the stream is. This is your journey. I'll walk a little bit, but I got to take my left and my right too. You know what I'm saying? As an individual. And we should do that with our homies and people that we know. Understand it. Hey, man, let's go in this together. You got to walk that path solo, partner. That's your path. It's just like trying to convince somebody to go into business with you. Unless they have a passion for that type of business, why would you do them like that? Man, let me figure out what you love, homie. And I want you to pursue that because that's what real friends do. I don't want to bring a friend in with me in business just because we're friends. You got to have some type of special gift or something like that. And other than that, or passion, don't do me that favor because it's not going to last long. Doing favors is not perpetual. It's not something that can just go on. What is it? Infinite? So you know what I'm saying? You gotta cash that in. So that's why I don't. Walk that path, dog. Don't ask for no favors. Don't ask for no handouts. You can ask the angels when they come around because God will send them, and it won't be difficult. It won't be awkward. The lessons are the ones that are difficult and awkward, right? But not the gifts. Those come in bowls and with ease, and they require little to no effort. As surprising and shocked as it sounds. And I'm not talking to you guys from what I heard from someone. Do you see anybody around me? Not really. I spend most of my time with my family. My best friend was my dad, and he passed. But he gave me enough game to last me a lifetime. I promise you that. Promise you that. So I'm walking in mine. And he always told me be a motherfucker outside the car. Don't let no car determine you. Don't let none of that stuff determine who you are. You cold, and he showed me how to be cold, how to walk that walk, how to be who you are no matter what the situation was. Right? Because them situations don't define you. You're the catalyst of life. You make life pop. And we can't do that living duplicate lives, right? Modeling ourselves after someone. You ever see two Puff Daddies? Two Deion Sanders? Two Barack Obamas? No, because the second one, if you were trying to be like them, we would never hear from you. They're too much. They're too much of an individual. And they're walking in their E.T. the hip hop preacher. No, I ain't seen nobody like him. You ain't gonna see nobody like me either. And I'll wait my turn. I'll wait for the world to catch up. I know I'm walking in my path. I'm not even worried about it. I know I'm going in the right direction. God confirmed it already. I know I'm right where I'm supposed to be because I feel fantastic. I don't feel any tension. I don't feel any weight. I don't feel none of that. I feel like going to go lobster catching. That's what we about to go do. If we weren't selling chicken this weekend, we out there trying to catch lobsters. I'm living my moment. Dog. You have to do the same. And it's not to the point, and we talked about that. It's not to the point where we chasing our dreams down and acting like an ass towards them or acting like some type of stalker. I got to work 50 hours to get this. Man, if you got to do that, man, you sure you want to do the dream? The dream is supposed to be beautiful. You're supposed to be smiling. You're supposed to be chilling. It's not supposed to be back breaking, kill yourself type. Nah. Somebody talk that. That's not a dream. That's a job, dog. That's a job. When you know that. So when you live in your dream, you just like me. I'm man. Taught some lectures, sell some hair, sell some chicken, hop in a bus, take some people around, get some weed in L.A. Those are the businesses. Walking on, people say you crazy. You can't sell hair in LA and deliver it. You can't. It's so many chicken places out there, not like ours. So we're walking our unique path in that sense. That's what we're doing with that. Well, the tour business, not like this bus. There's other tour companies, but I guarantee you they ain't like this one. And when they get on, that's the first thing. Oh man, you ain't like the other ones. Mm-hmm. On purpose. because I understand that differentiation is what God wants from you. He don't want you to be just like somebody else. That shit is boring. And he didn't waste his miracle on somebody that he could have did that. He already did that. He's like, man, I already did somebody like this, man. I didn't want you to be like them. I wanted you to be like you. I wanted you to do you. I wanted you to be who you are because that's the gift to the world. When you become who you are, you're giving the world a gift. That's a difficult one to swallow because when you're duplicating or you're trying to be like somebody else, you're robbing the world. Because God gave you a unique gift to share with the world and you're keeping it a secret by trying to be like this cat. Walk your unique path. No one else can walk it. No one else can walk it but you. So get started. What are you waiting on? So that will conclude our weekly tap in for this week. Hope you guys, if this is your first time joining us, make sure you guys hit the subscription button. Join us next Monday. We'll be tapping in for our last episode of season 3. So thank y'all once again. Reading books right now. What I'm still listening to is Cybernetics, and I'm going back to what's the other one I'm going back to? It is let me see. It's on my phone. I could probably pull it up on my phone, but I'm going back to what's the book? The Magic of Manifesting. So I'm reading that right now to back listening to Magic of Manifesting. You got to have your tools in order to be able to survive in this world. There's so many things, and when the enemy attacks, he comes full force. I was attacked a few different times today, but I had because at the same time, let me tell you why. If he threw off my train of thought, I would never have been able to deliver what I delivered tonight to you guys. And I don't know who I touched, but if I did, God will know it, the universe will know it, and more importantly, you'll know it. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day. Tapping out.